From charming leads in romantic comedies to a chilling, enigmatic figure, Hugh Grant's transformation in Heretic will have you questioning whether the man who once graced the silver screen with a twinkle in his eye has been hiding the darker side all along. In this spoiler-free review, we'll explore whether Heretic is a career reinvention we didn't see coming, or just another psychological horror that fails to live up to its promise of suspense and danger.
Make you want to die.
When two young missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints set out to convert a reclusive Englishman, they quickly find themselves trapped in a terrifying ordeal. What begins as a route, proselytizing mission soon escalates into something far more sinister, as the man's dark past and dangerous secrets surface, threatening not only their lives but their very beliefs. In Heretic, nothing is as it seems, and the lines between faith, fear, and survival blur each passing moment. For the plot of the film, to me, felt very much like a muddled mess that seemed to be going nowhere. I like the concept of the film, but the plot seemed to fall flat on the message it was trying to convey. For the plot, I give Heretic a 6 out of 10. In June 2023, it was announced that acclaimed writers and directors Beck and Bryan, known for their work on A Quiet Place, would helm the psychological horror Heretic for A24. With Hugh Grant taking on a chilling, unexpected role alongside Chloe East, the film quickly sparked intrigue. Despite the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike, the production received an interim agreement allowing it to move forward. Filming took place over a compact yet intense 30-day schedule in Vancouver from October 3rd to November 16, 2023, promising a visually striking and tightly woven horror that sets to captivate audiences. I have mixed feelings about the film, but I would say that for the most part, the movie is just okay. Based on what I saw, the movie just seemed to fall flat and fail to live up to expectations. For overall enjoyment, 6 out of 10. The film failed to invoke any real emotions for me, which is disappointing because movies with the psychological genre are my favorite. The film was at least suspenseful throughout some parts of it. Emotional impact, 6 out of 10. Hugh Grant as Mr. Reed, Sophie Thatcher as Sister Barnes, Chloe East as Sister Paxson, Topher Grace as Elder Kennedy, Elle Young as the Prophet. These actors gave okay performances. I didn't feel any real chemistry with the cast, if I'm being honest. Seeing Hugh Grant, a man mostly known for romance and drama movies, in this type of lighting was interesting. However, he wasn't convincing as a villain in my opinion. Topher Grace as Elder Kennedy was a completely unnecessary character. You understand once you see the film. For characters and performances, 6 out of 10. If you enjoy watching this review, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to The Film Scout. I post detailed reviews of films from psychological horrors to sci-fi and everything in between. Your engagement really helps the channel grow and keeps these reviews coming. The writing of the film felt clunky and awkwardly written. The first act of the film just seemed to drag on longer than needed. While listening to the conversations, there were more than a few times where I thought to myself, okay, when are we going to get to the point? When are we going to move on from this? For writing and dialogue, 6 out of 10. The film was directed by duo Beck and Bryan, and this is the first film of theirs that I've seen directed. I am familiar with their work as producers on the films such as The Quiet Place and The Boogeyman. I can't remember the last time I've seen a film with two directors with it, but it probably would have been better with just one based on what I saw. The movie just seemed to be going in two different directions, and there were too many missed opportunities to build suspense and excitement in my opinion. For direction, 6.5 out of 10. The cinematography was good, but looked overly dark and sometimes hard to follow visually. I liked the set design of the house inside and out. I liked the use of weather depicted outside. It added a layer to the suspense of the film. I thought how the basement stages came out exceptionally well. For cinematography and visuals, I give the film a 7.5 out of 10. Heretic gets the aesthetics badge. The pacing of the film was consistent throughout. The pacing seemed to match the mood of the movie relatively well. However, the pacing was very slow, and I don't think that's appropriate for a psychological horror film. I give the movie credit for sticking to its speed though. Nothing about the editing stood out to me. There were a few scenes that were cut together as sort of a flashback, but I don't believe they came together that well because the scenes were meant to convey what the audience missed during the explanation of the flashbacks, but we never saw what was being displayed on screen when it was actually happening in real time. It would have been nicer to have psyched the audience out of the scenes had they actually happened the way that they were being portrayed in the flashback, as sort of a, see, if you blink you missed a moment. But it was obvious that no one who was watching could have missed what was being shown. Still, for pacing and editing, I give Heretic a 7 out of 10. The film gets the Flow badge. In the film, Hugh Grant's character plays a record for the ladies to convey a point he's trying to make about religion. It's done okay, but I wasn't impressed. Going back to earlier sentiments, it was one of those things that dragged on longer than necessary. I like the isolated sounds of the storm outside of the house that played from time to time. The sound was engineered nicely. For sound and music, a 6.5 out of 10. Heretic, starring Hugh Grant, is a psychological horror film that explores complex themes of guilt, obsession, and the descent into madness. The story follows a man haunted by his dark past and the consequences of choices that he's made years ago. This horror delves deep into the human psyche, focusing on themes like guilt and redemption. The protagonist struggles over remorse over his past actions, driving him to seek redemption. His journey reflects the weight of unresolved guilt and the lengths people will go to atone for those wrongdoings. Obsession and self-destruction, the character's fixation on uncovering certain truths and reconciling his past leads him down a self-destructive path, highlighting the dangers of becoming consumed by a single idea or regret. Isolation and paranoia. As the characters dive deep into the obsessions, he isolates himself, which enhances the paranoia and blurs the lines between reality and hallucination. The theme illustrates how loneliness can amplify psychological torment, the nature of evil. Throughout various interactions and flashbacks, the film questions whether evil is inherent or a product of circumstances, reflecting on a moral ambiguity and the darkness within people. The film's message seems to resonate with the idea that failing to comfort one's inner demons can lead to devastating outcomes, suggesting a cautionary tale about repressing guilt and avoiding accountability. Overall, Heretic uses its horror elements to explore the tragic consequence of unresolved trauma and how the mind can turn against itself. Despite how I feel about the plot of the film, I do believe that the themes and messages were conveyed throughout. For themes and messages, 8.5 out of 10, Heretic gets the Insight badge. The last psychological horror film that I saw was Speak No Evil, which came out earlier this year. I believe Heretic did better with the psychological elements than Speak No Evil did. However, I believe Speak No Evil did better with the psychological elements. The piece that puts Heretic a bit above Speak No Evil is the suspenseful aspect of the film. Even though I never really felt horrified watching Heretic, what made me stay to the end was the suspense. For that, I give Heretic the Reflection badge. Heretic is being released by itself this weekend, and I see it taking over the box office, if only for a week. Heretic gets the Crown badge. Heretic is definitely a one-and-done type of film. I don't see any future sequels in the foreseeable future for it. In conclusion, I give the film Heretic a 6.6 out of 10. That wraps up my review for Heretic. Till next time, this is the Film Scout signing off. Peace.